Okay, so this week I'm going to be recording with a deck that I'm sure I've recorded with quite a few times, but just in prep for the GP, I just want a little refresher course, and it's probably all I really need if I'm going to pick it back up. This is the latest list that Matt McCullough, my friend who top 16 Grand Prix Minneapolis of the deck, has been playing. If you look at the deck, the quickest thing you can kind of see is that it's configured to be sort of it's not absolutely insane against fair decks, but it's reasonable. It's not like as maximally optimized as the Goif version I played at Grand Prix Kansas City was, but it's reasonable there. And a lot of the choices are kind of, they feel like they're already made for you. We got three townships as one of the bigger choices instead of two. You're sacrificing a little bit on the mana front in exchange for having a much, much better game against Faradex when you have to go head to head and don't have a pod. Part of this that allows you to do this is cutting back a little bit on Voice of Resurgence. I know I've gone up to three, but that cutback a little bit does help a ton because you aren't leaning so heavily on having a green white or green and a white on turn two, even without a mana guy. On that front, there's also a Firelit Thicket instead of a red white dual land, such as I think I played Clifftop Retreat or Rugged Prairie in the past, and that's mostly because of that. The other thing that this is because is you have Wall of Roots, because you're playing Court of Calling, which gives you a bit of an edge in the combo-ish matchups. One of the things that's worth noting is there's only two chords. This isn't Melira. Drawing multiple chords is not really that good. Um, it's really hard to, like with Melira Pod, you're assembling a one drop, a two drop, and a three drop, and actually assembling that trio requires a decent amount of search because it's a three card combo. Whereas in this deck, you're assembling a three or four drop and a five drop, or even five drop and five drop. So multiple chords is actually really difficult to pull off your combo with. Instead, it's better off just to have just your one chord to find exactly what silver bullet you're trying to find. It's worth noting that a single chord also gets you the kill over a long term. It's chord to witness, get back chord, chord to resto, blink witness, get back chord, chord for Kiki, kill them. Let's see what else. The full suite of four drops, you've got both Persist Guys and Linvala. I don't think it's. You really can't play this deck without Linvala at this point. There's Twin, there's Pod, and this is like the best card in the mirror. Let's see what else. Only two Finks. Again, this is really just sort of a deck size concern. We got double Ooze as the endgame threat of choice, which is also a big bonus compared to something like Goif, because the twin decks are playing Snapcaster and you can attack that angle from them. That's pretty easy. You got 10 mana guys. Overall, it's not that different from any of the other lists. Moving to the sideboard, we've got our twin hate. We're a little lighter on affinity hate, but the metagame kind of allows for that. Another big one is the Staticasters in the sideboard and not the main deck. Uh, this is partly because Lingering Souls is not a huge part of the metagame anymore. And the other card that's sort of fallen down a little bit in percentage is Dark Confidant. And those are two of the big things that you want a Staticaster down. You still want it in the board because it's still pretty good in pod mirrors. And, I mean, even though you're both running Birds and Nobles and it pings those down, the card is just absurdly powerful against a lot of the other things. And usually, if you're the one Statcastering their mana, you're already ahead on board. So maybe losing one of yours isn't a huge hit. Um, yeah, it's also because there's only so many dead slots you can have in your main deck against blue, white, red. And adding another Wall of Roots and having to cut Kitchen Finks and Voice of Resurgence is definitely a hit in that department. You'll notice, again, no Kataki. Affinity Hate's being covered by a lot of the other cards, a lot of the other decks in the format, too. Fiend Hunter is kind of obligatory because otherwise there's no answer to Linvala, whereas previously you could Linvala or Phantasmal Image their Linvala. Not the case anymore. You need an actual removal spell. Eidolon, because in theory Storm is still a thing, I could see shaving this card pretty easily. Single Riders, I don't think. I mean, Tron and Scapeshift are big. They're not huge. A second's considerable, but you can fight them without it. The Thrawn is your kind of big anti-blue or red threat, just another card that you want to draw and cast. Um, Sensor for the mirror. It's fine. Like it's obviously good against Scape Shift, but it's not insane. And Negates is your awesome anti-combo card, which is, I mean, Melirapod is Thoughtseize, but this card's a little more backbreaking, especially against Tron. Making them take a turn to cast a card that gets countered is pretty huge. The list seems pretty solid. It's like, you know, you might tweak a card here or there, but overall, this is about what you should expect if you're playing against the deck.